Oh man, what a day we have today. We get the CPI reading. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm actually feeling a little bit under the weather today, so sorry if I'm not at full energy or if I dissipate as the stream goes through, particularly if the reading's not so great, right? But the market is absolutely buzzing and there was no chance I was going to let you guys down. So we're on this live stream. Let's get this CPI reading together. We've got just over 15 minutes until we get the CPI reading, and this is the most important reading we've had since the start of the pandemic. This is the most important reading. Can we get that 2 consecutive months of inflation improving to the downside? I tell you what, the market seems to think so. We're going to take a look at what the expectations are. We're going to look at how the markets are responding and the potential consequences. And trust me, guys, I have not seen a CPI reading for a very long time, which is this binary. Every outcome is possible today. The market is so euphoric, and I'm telling you this from the outset. The market is so euphoric right now that if the expectations miss to the upside, in other words, if inflation comes in too hot, that could lead to a big dump, because right now people are longing. We're seeing the pre-market here. Let's show you. Let's get straight here onto the charts. And what we can see is the pre-market is up, right? We've got Dow Jones notching up here slightly, 0.71 on the S&P and 0.73 in the NASDAQ, which is your growth stocks. Bitcoin is not messing around, up 1% today. Another strong daily candle, trying to now get to its W pattern, right? It's trying to get back to the peak here, which would then form its W on the weekly pattern, and that could suggest a big move to the downside. And this is going to be the impetus today, is this inflation report. We did a tweet the other day saying, what do you think will be the bigger impact on markets? 72% of you said the CPI reading will be more important this month than the ETH merge, and I tend to agree with you guys. So let's find out, what are the expectations and what do we want to see? So this was the report from last month. Let's use this to gauge what the expectations are. What are the consensus and what are the different outcomes, as we have another 14 or so minutes till the CPI. I can see a whole bunch of you in here super excited for the CPI reading. Aren't we a bunch of geeks, huh? But we love it, because this is what moves our asset class, and I'm so appreciative to you all for understanding that these are the macro elements that move the charts. And I love days like this, because it's days like this that you realize who the people are that you are following and taking crypto advice off, that aren't covering CPI, that don't know what's going on, that couldn't explain to you the things that we're going through. And all of you guys in this community understand. That's why I respect all of you for learning and taking the time to become investors, even when it's not so fun to do, even when you're in the middle of a bear market, you're waiting for a CPI report. So as we can see, the last month on July, the reason the markets was so excited is we had this naught figure, right? This is your month-on-month figure, and it came in at naught. The expectation for this month is actually a minus, guys. It's minus 0.1%. So when we refresh, and when I download the PDF, okay, and you'll see me panicking around to download this PDF, you want to make sure that this comes in at minus 0.1 or lower. The markets will be happy with that. That is your month-on-month headline, okay? So we will be looking at that. Then you want to look at the year-on-year figure. Now, the year-on-year figure previous month came in at 8.5. I'm going to show you this in a slightly easier to see graph. It came in on 8.5 versus 9.1 the previous month, okay? So we want to see this notch down again, and the expectations of the market are 8, and some people are saying 8.1, okay? So depending on where you want to take it, 8%, 8.1%, the market's not going to have any difference to that, but let's say 8.1% for the sake of my consensus estimate, okay? So let's say that needs to notch down. Now, what are the different variations? I'm going to come on to core inflation shortly. But what are the variations here? If we miss and we come in at 8.5 or higher, markets are not going to take well to this. Markets are expecting 8.1%, and a lot of people actually pricing in even lower than that. I can see you guys smashing in the comments. Some of you saying 7.9, 7.8. Some of you saying 8.2, 8.8. I'm seeing different figures coming out here. But the market is expecting this to not just come to expectations at 8.1, but even surprise to the downside. Anything with a 7 handle on, I think the market's going to have a really big rally. Traders are going to be taking their positions, and we will see a nice short to mid-term rally here. Okay, if we surprise to the upside because of the euphoria in the market, do not be surprised to see that pain start to dissipate into the market if we get 8.5 or higher, right? That would be bad for the market. Now, what's interesting is the core inflation, and this is what's going to confuse some people now. So let me just flick on over to the last report which we were looking at. So the blue line here, when we download the report, will be your core, will be your headline inflation. Okay, so we want to see that notch down to 8.1. We want to see a dot here or lower. Okay, the core inflation, which is this maroon line, strips out food and energy. Now, the expectations are actually that this will slightly go up from 5.9 to 6. So we want to see a dot here on this line. So the market could be a little bit confused here, and it's going to depend on the different permutations and variations. But in other words, the market wants to see headline inflation come down. That's a no-brainer. And they're happy to see core inflation go up. But remember, if it goes up too much, they're not going to be happy. So they're kind of being like Goldilocks, and they want it just right. So we're going to have to pay attention to that. This dot can't go out of control and go crazy. It can notch up to 6, but we don't want to see it go anywhere crazy, okay? So that's what we're going to be looking at. And month on month for the core, it can go up by 0.3%, okay? So we will be looking at all of those when the CPI comes out in the next 11 minutes. Guys, smash up the likes. There's a whole bunch of you watching, but you've not hit the like button. Please smash up the likes. Really does help me bring these streams to you, even when I literally do not have the energy to do so, because I'm relying on you guys, the community. And I want to make sure you guys know what's going on in this market and you're able to trade and invest successfully. So if you appreciate that, do drop me a like. And if the streams get pretty bad after this, you can just unlike it. Like, it's fine. I won't be emotional to that. That's fine. Okay. Quick look at the markets. Bitcoin doing well, right? Nice move to the upside. More importantly today is going to be the dollar index. We need to see the dollar index continue to suffer, and we are seeing suffering here on the hourly. Look at this, a bleed on the dollar index today. Really good news. If I pop up to the 4 hourly, you can see us continuing to decline. Let's bring out the EMA ribbon. What a beautiful sight here. We've lost our 4 hourly EMA ribbon. We're getting a nice extended move to the downside, but what we want to see today is we want to see dollar index lose its daily EMA ribbon. How amazing would that be if we could lose our daily EMA ribbon here? We're just hanging on here on the last few threads. The bottom thread is 107.1, okay? We're at 107.8 right now. Can we get a nice shock to the dollar index with a good CPI reading? And can we therefore see this lose its daily EMA ribbon? Remember, last time we nearly lost it, and then we kind of bounced off of it, so we don't want to get caught in that trap, but we do want to lose our EMA, and that could set us up for a bigger, longer move here on Bitcoin. That is what we want. That's going to be where the market decides to say, hang on, Jerome Powell is going to pivot soon. And let's come on to what the market is expecting. Because if we take a refresh here of the Fed rate monitor tool, let's get the latest number right now. It's sitting at 85%. And that means that 85% of the market is expecting that Jerome Powell in the next meeting on the 21st, okay, 8 days from now, they're expecting him to do 75 basis point rate hike. That would bring you to a Fed funds rate of between 3 and 3.25. What does that mean? Well, what that means is Jerome Powell is now no longer in a monetary policy stance where he is neutral. He's now officially tightening. All of the hikes before then gets you to a neutral rate. When you're at between 3 and 3.25, you're officially tightening. And now the decision is how much is he going to squeeze the neck of the economy? How much is he going to tighten? Now the market is starting to think, hang on, if CPI comes in down today in the next 9 minutes, he can go ahead and do his 75 basis point next week. That's fine. I think he's committed to that anyway, unless we get a crazy low CPI reading like 7.5, 7.3 or something like that. And then they're hoping that by November, the next meeting on November, maybe he can start to rotate. Maybe he can start to pivot. And it's that expectation that's moving the markets today. Okay, guys? Feel free to drop any questions. I'll try to get to them. We've got 8 minutes before the CPI reading. But a few other things I do want to point out, okay? We're expecting gasoline and travel to fall. So those are the bits we're going to be looking at. And you can see here from AAA shared that on 14th of June, gas hit a highest price here of $5.01. It's now come down to the $3.70 region. So this is going to have a huge impact. Even gasoline alone and energy should knock off about 0.5% on headline CPI, okay? So that's what we're looking at. But when you strip that out and you just get the core, people are expecting core to nudge up slightly a little bit as well, okay? So that's what we want to watch out for. Gasoline and travel costs expected to fall. And we've obviously seen the gas prices fall in that period. Remember, this is not for September. This is the August reading we're looking at, okay? We're expecting shelter to go up. We'll take a look at that. We're expecting used cars prices to start falling. We saw that play out in August. And then we'll also take a look at airlines and hotels. They're the other key areas which we'll expect to fall if we want to see core not be too high. Okay, so that's what we're going to be looking at. This is the page for the BLS if any of you guys want to join, but I'll be having it here. I'll be refreshing like the rest of the world, hoping to get that PDF to go through with you in the next 7 minutes. Let's see if you guys have any questions in here. First of all, thank you for joining the live stream, everybody. Don't forget to smash up those likes. Wow, loads of you in here, guys. Awesome. Steve, good to see you. Barney, good to see you. Andrew, good to see you. Abdul, Doug, Tariq, good to see you, buddy. Chua, good to see you as always. Victor, KTK Squad, Triple H, Chantal, SM, Vincenzo. Nice. Good to see you all, guys. Appreciate your support here. Everybody saying 8, 8.4, 7.9, 8.4, 7.9 would be great, says Milad. Ian says, yeah, the economy in America is slowing way down. Nobody's buying cars or homes, and you'd have to be nuts to refi your mortgage. No way, it's still 8%. And this is why people are expecting it, right? We are seeing that start to change. But also, part of the risk on mentality is if gas prices coming down like I've just shown you, people are able to take that extra money which they were paying for gas and start spending on the economy. So we are expecting growth companies to start showing some growth now because of that maneuverability from the oil prices. But remember, we did have OPEC in September start to reduce some of their supply. I wonder if that's going to take an effect, because that won't take an effect in the August reading. That's going to come in the September reading, which we get next month. So just another thought for you guys as well. Wacky, good to see you. Why is Algorand down when Bitcoin is up? Depends. I'm not looking at Algorand today. I don't know what the news is, but generally, if a coin is moving to the downside, something has happened, because particularly when Bitcoin is up 1% today. Cesari, good to see you. Imran, hey, how you doing? Pixel Snake, good to see you. Samir. Edmund, good to see you. And yeah, let's just keep the markets open here whilst we're waiting. Let's keep an eye on this Dixie. In fact, I'll tell you what we can do. Let's just pop you guys there for a second. Let's see if I can get up split view, so I can put the S&P on one side for you guys. Then what I can do is we can have Bitcoin on one side, as we like to have. Pop S&P on the other side. And that should give you guys a nice view. And we'll pop it onto the 5-minute chart. Minute might be a bit crazy here. Cool. So there's your S&P. Gapping up here. There's Bitcoin on the 5-minute chart. We'll keep this open going through to the CPI, sitting at 22,000. As you can see, I'll flick across to this chart as well, so you guys can see my key levels. Remember, Bitcoin here on the hourly is looking very strong, but what we do want to keep is a zoomed out view, which is this one. This is our channel, right? If we get a bad reading, we're going to get thrown back into our channel. A good reading, we want to see nice, strong momentum to 24, but more importantly, 24.5, okay? 24.5 is going to be an important level. That's what we want to look at, because that's the neckline of your W pattern. Really, really important, the neckline of your W pattern, which could set us up for a big move. I think we've got a couple of minutes so we can look at that. I do want to fill you guys in. If I switch on over to the weekly chart, just so everybody understands what's happening. A W is a reversal pattern. It's a bottom formation. Now, it doesn't mean it always works. And that's why we've got the technicals. We've got to marry up with the macro. That's why we're sat here today. And this macro news can help us on the weekly candles to get towards this 24,500 level. And if we can do that and break to the upside, the technical target here is 31,000. Now that will bring you into your EMA ribbon, okay? So it doesn't mean we suddenly flip bullish here on the long term, no, but it's a good start. It's a good start, because I always said that the pivot can and will happen from a macro perspective when CPI really shows some path for improvement, when Jerome Powell can show that he's on top of it. And obviously, if we get 2 now CPI readings to the downside, we can finally say that he's in control, because he's not managed to achieve that up until now. We had 1 notch down here, and then it spiked to a new high. So the fear will be, if we notch up again today, then all bets are off, right? So this needs to come down to that 8.1 or lower is great figure here on CPI. So we will be looking for that. Just a few minutes to go now. Guys, please do smash up the likes. Look at that, guys. Like, literally like a third of you have hit the likes. Come on. Come on, guys. Free content for you guys. Smash up the likes. Really, really appreciate it. If you could do that, helps me continue to do these videos, and it'll help YouTube share this stream, because otherwise you're just going to get a bunch of moon boys telling you Bitcoin is going to 100,000 next week. And if you want that, then yeah, it's great. You can have that. Cool. Okay, S&P still looking good. We are 3 minutes away. Guys, in the chat, don't let me waffle on too long. If you see me still waffling in minutes, make sure I open up the CPI reading. Yedlam says CPI will come around 8.3 and we pump. 8.3 would be higher than expectations, guys. So the market's pretty harsh on this one. Remember, they're getting excited. So you can't miss expectations even by a little bit, in my opinion. It's got to be 8.1, 8, 7.9 would be great. 7.8 even better. I think 8.3 in the market's going to, you know. So markets, they want best performance. They're pricing in best performance here right now. Let's also take a quick look at the dollar index. Dollar index. So this is what we're looking at here on the dollar index, guys. If this CPI can set us up for a couple of horrible red weeks for the dollar index, that is what we want. That's good progress. Now, let's understand, right? Dollar index is still doing really well. It's really strong, and Bitcoin is really, really weak, like I just showed you on the weekly chart. But it's a start, right? It's a start that if we can have a couple of red weeks and push into our EMA ribbon, with the fears now coming that, okay, maybe the Fed is going to now pause rate hikes, that could be really, really positive. Okay, let's get set up on the charts. We'll keep that there. Let's head on over to here, and we will start refreshing a minute early, if that even makes a difference. I don't think so. Remember, guys, 8.1%, looking for month-on-month down 0.1%. We'll walk through it together. This is the August reading we are looking at. Keep refreshing. Please don't crash on us. We are the crypto family waiting for CPI. Shouldn't be long now, guys. 30 seconds or so. 30 seconds or so. Can't remember the last time we had this much of an important CPI reading. I mean, the attention on it's going to be huge today. Loads of people will be covering it, but it's important that we know what we're looking for, and then we're able to react. So we know now, we know where our expectations are, we know what we're looking for. We just need to see this number, and then we can see what kind of a day we're going to have. More importantly, what kind of week and months ahead are we going to have? And that's what's fun about this CPI reading. It's not just about today. Most CPI readings is just traders taking advantage today. This is good for your long-term portfolio to get yourself positioned and make sure you're ready for the next run, because if CPI is really starting to improve and Jerome Powell's starting to pause, we could be ready to go. Come on, guys. It's 30 on my clock. Let's go. Refresh. Everybody's refreshing, I guess, so let's keep going. Still not. Okay, we're at 1:30 now. Come on, BLS. There we go. Okay, PDF. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, that says July. That's not great. They fold. They said 0.6% in August, but the PDF's not linked up. Come on, guys. 6.3%. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, that is huge. Let's open this up. Why are they not updating it? Why are they not updating it? Come on, BLS. Let's try the HTML version. Have you updated this one? 8.3 they're showing. Okay, so 8.3% here. Slightly higher than expectations. Let's take a look at what they're saying in here. Please fix your PDF here. Come on. Oh, they don't want to fix it. Okay, it's 8.3% year on year, okay? And we can see that the core one is up 6.3%. So core is up higher than expected, guys. Remember, we wanted 6% on the core, is 6.3%. 8.3 is also than 8.1 expected. So it's good. We're improving. The inflation is coming down, but the markets were expecting more. So let's take a look at what the S&P and Bitcoin is saying. And there you go, guys. I told you, they priced in perfection here, and we're seeing that now tick to the downside. And this is the fear. Everybody's trying to front run the market. Everybody's trying to get excited. And the more excited you get, I remember somebody literally before the reading just said, if we get 8.3, we're pumping. And I said, no, we're not. And it's exactly what we got is 8.3. Remember, the market priced in 8.18 or lower. Loads of people getting excited, 7.9, 7.8. We are seeing that. Not great reading here today. We will get the details up so we can take a look at it, but it did not come in as we want. So this just means further confirmation. Jerome Powell will definitely crack on with his 75 basis points. It's not a bad enough reading that he's going to do 100 basis points. I think that's good. At least we can rule that bit out, and maybe the market, when it calms down, can be like, okay, it's not too bad. It's actually coming down, but they won't be happy. Okay, so this is notching back up to 87% now from 85. So again, people are pricing that in as we speak. Let's take a look here, see if we can get access to their PDF, if the BLS can pull their finger out, and they still haven't. It's still the July one. So let's try to make sense of what they've done here. So let's take a look here. 8.3%. Food at home up 11.4%. You've got 23% on energy. Still, energy's painful, right? Look at that. So, okay. Let's keep taking a look down. What else have we got? Food index increased by 0.8. Energy index fell 5% in August after declining 4.6%. We expected that. We looked at the gasoline. All items less food and energy, which is your core, rose 0.6% in August after increasing 0.3%. Remember, we were only expecting 0.3 again, guys. It's coming at 0.6. So core is still showing some persistent hard fought inflation. So Jerome Powell still got work to do, and that is why we're seeing the markets now respond in the negative direction, because they were getting excited that this is the last 75 basis point hike, but there's no promise behind that. Inflation is still sticky there, and you can see that in the numbers we're seeing. Core inflation still up 0.6% there. Let's also take a look at what else they've got to share with us. Household furnishings increased by 1%. That 6.3 is your core there, guys. Let's see if Trading Economics has refreshed it. It'll be good to see here for you guys. Oh, their website's down as well. These lot can't get their act together. Okay, so how are you guys feeling? Let me know in the comments, how are you feeling? What are your plans for the rest of today? Is anybody shorting? Are you guys now just kind of sitting back? What's your plan now? I mean, this has taken a lot of excitement away from people because they really were expecting a reading to the downside, much more to the downside, right? Remember, this is slightly higher than expectations, which is why markets are not happy. I think once they settle down over the next couple of days, they'll be happy, right? They'll be happy because it's trending in the right direction. We didn't get a higher reading. It just didn't come down as much. So once, you know, they settle and they sleep on it, it won't be that bad. You can see shelter is still proving an issue like we were worried about. We saw that rise. Let's also take a look at transportation services, again being an issue. We did point those things out. Used cars, which I said we have to look out for, 7.8%. Okay, seeing still very inflationary. And these are what are causing the issues, right? Let's also see if we can find out if they have any airline fares on here. Okay, so airlines continue to decrease, decreasing 4.6%. Okay, that's a good trend. What else did we want to look at? So we saw shelter, we saw gas. Okay, fine. So I think we pretty much know what we're looking for here. I think we know what the outcome here is. Let's take a look at the dollar index, because dollar index will no doubt turn green, as you can see, guys. And you can predict this like clockwork, right? And this is the thing. The unknown we had was, what is this CPI reading going to be? But the outcomes, you can easily set them and then trade off the back of those and invest off the back of those. So anybody who's telling you, I know exactly what CPI reading is going to be, unless they've got an insider over at the BLS, they're chatting rubbish. And the key thing is, when these situations come up, like the ETH 2.0 merge, like CPI, analyze the different outcomes, have a plan if this happens, have a plan if that happens, and try to execute based on that, okay? Let's see what you guys are saying in the comments and see what your sentiment and thoughts are, guys. Don't forget to smash up the like button. Even though we're slightly disappointed with that reading today, a lot of people were hoping for green. But again, guys, you've got to train yourself. This means more time for us to accumulate and potentially more time for us to come back into this lovely channel, which is my DCA channel. You guys know I love to DCA in this channel. I took this opportunity at 18,700 to accumulate. I shared that with you guys, and I'll continue to do the same if we enter back into this channel. And the deeper we enter into this channel, the more aggressively I will accumulate. Ian says not good. Alexis says not good. Down we go. Special K. Oh man, somebody says Dixie bouncing. Of course, it's going to bounce. Abdul says waiting for Bitcoin to come down to those yummy prices. Absolutely. Liquor says I'm sitting back and taking a drink. I think that's a clever idea. I need one. My throat is killing me. Doug's gone ahead and bought some ETH at the dip. I know that was one of your plans because you're on our member live streams. And again, if you want to join our member live streams where we go through all of this, we had a chat yesterday with course member live, so everybody knew what to expect heading into the CPI inflation report and had their game plans ready. Ijaz.uk/member. You guys can join 3 times weekly live streams, going through technicals, going through fundamentals. You can ask any questions you want and ask me what I'm doing in the market, all in those sessions. So definitely check those out. Links in the description. Stu says, still sitting on my hands, will nibble on near-con. I think that's a good idea. I think after the near-con, you will get one of those dips. You can see near-con down 6% today. All coins are going to take a hit, guys, and the markets will take a hit here short-term today. But I think it will hold up a lot better this time. I think, look, it's a good piece of news, right? Market's going to say, oh, it's, market's upset because market expected a lot today. And the traders priced in a really crazy prompt and they got really excited today. But when you sit down and actually think about it, things have actually shown an improvement, okay? Things have actually shown an improvement because inflation's coming down. And I think that's what's important. That's what's important here in this market, is that it is coming down. So we'll let that kind of settle over the next day or so. But in the meantime, let's keep this open. You can see the SPY continues to fall here on the 5-minute. Bitcoin now at 21,700. SPY falling to 4.4 right now as we speak. Let's see what you guys are saying here in the chat. People are saying to short. Barney's topping up bags. Abdul says conviction is key. Absolutely. JH bought some Phantom, 7.6% down on the day. And this is, you guys are learning, guys. You guys are learning. This is irrational fear in the market. You had positive piece of news, traders reacting negatively, which allows you to get a 7-8% return, a discount on some of your favorite altcoins for no reason. Just over the last 24 hours, Nearcon was calling near to pump, and now it's down 7%. Has the project changed? No. Phantom, has the project changed based on the CPI? It's a good CPI reading. We're heading in the right direction, just not as fast as the market wanted. And yes, there is some some sticky inflation, and Jerome Powell will have to do 75 basis points, and probably now he may need to do 75 basis points again, and that's what's spooking the market, is this. Okay, it's this, the fact that he may need to do 75 basis points. Now, currently, what you are seeing is that the market is pricing in 75 basis points, and this is 50 basis points. Okay, so they think he's going to do 50 basis points in the next one, but slowly, I think you'll start to see this one tick up, which is the chance of 75 basis points. Look at that now, guys. You've got a small percentage of people. Just 11% of people expecting him to just do a 25 basis point. I don't think that's going to happen. I think on the next meeting, which is November, and we're jumping the gun here, but the next meeting, I think more and more people are going to price in 75 basis points again to get rid of that sticky inflation we're seeing. Bitcoin showing some strength here at 21,700. It's not slipping up too easily. It's showing some strength here. Let's see how that kind of progresses as the traders play around. Debenus is looking for longs around 19,800, 19,500. Hassan is buying some ETH. Mark said he was spot on. Congrats on being spot on. Hendra Duar, whatever that means. Steve is saying he's letting it cool off. Kafo, cool. He was always going to do 75 at a minimum. Don't be surprised if 100% happens. I don't think this reading is enough for 100 base points. So I'm agreed with you, and I think the market's broadly agreed that he was always going to do 75 base points. That's why this didn't budge much. It was already at 85% before the reading, and it's gone to 87, right? But I don't think the reading was bad enough for him to do 100 base points. I think it's enough for him to continue doing what he's doing. Okay, I don't think he's going to want to break the back of the economy. The 75 basis points are having an effect now. The couple of 75 basis points he's done is having an effect. I think he'll go ahead with another one, and we'll see what happens from there. Ishundo, I'm still sitting back and letting things play out. High volatility, absolutely. High volatility, Bitcoin falling into its EMA ribbon. No doubt the dollar index will be doing the opposite and bouncing off of its EMA ribbon. Let's head on over there. There you go, bouncing into its EMA ribbon, back again on the 4-hourly here for the dollar index, trying to reclaim it here on the 4-hourly. So if you're a fan of the dollar index, it's good news for Bitcoin and crypto at risk off. It's not the best of news here today. But again, like I said, markets are all about expectations. Markets price in expectations, and that's what's key. They don't actually care about the number. Long-term investors over the next couple of days and weeks will start to position based on the fact that inflation is improving. So wait for that move to happen slowly as people move their portfolios. What you're seeing today is a reaction to trading. People expecting a really low figure, but inflation coming in a little bit higher than they expected. Yes, core inflation was a little bit higher. It came in a little bit higher, which people aren't happy with, and I think that's ultimately what's weighing on the markets. We were expecting 6% here on the core inflation just here. It came in at 6.3%. We're expecting 0.3 over the month in core. It came in at 0.6, and that's what's causing the pain here in the market. So, guys, as you can see, going into this market, greed was at all-time like real highs here. I mean, we jumped up to 34. Yesterday we were at 25, and just last week we're at 22. So we came in today with a lot of people really excited, expecting a crazy 7-figure on inflation, and they were ready to long the market. So a lot of retail investors, a lot of FOMO was coming in, a lot of people expecting that to move. So that means the downside is going to be equally as bad. Now, what we are seeing is a little bit of holding up here around the 404 mark. Let's see how that plays out over the next kind of few hours. No doubt I'll give you guys an update later on in the day. If you're not part of my Telegram group, then make sure you're part of that, guys. The Telegram group is completely free, and I give you insights. When I don't have a chance to make a video or tweet, I'll put it in the Telegram group. I'll share screenshots of my charts, my chart patterns, what I'm thinking in the markets, and it doesn't cost you a penny, and you get it on your phone wherever you are. So if you're working, you can glance down at your Telegram. You still don't know what's going on in the market. So guys, check that out. Links in the description. If you want to become a member, ijaz.uk/member. Thanks for watching.